go back and I look at it, Philadelphia just really embraces the idea of beating Tom Brady. And I think it has to go down to not just the Super Bowl the Eagles beat him in, but the fact that he dropped a pass, Nick Foles caught a touchdown pass, and then he snubbed Nick Foles at the end of the game by not shaking his hand. That's why I think Philadelphia really enjoys beating Tom Brady.
Oh, well, yeah. And, as Philadelphia, and they're underdogs this weekend, Bucks are going in the favorites. They underdog, and I hate to use that term, right? It brings us right back to 2018. However, it's who we are. It's part of our identity, the whole Rocky complex. I wrote an article on it once. I feel like that's why we love, kind of taking down the greats in anything, whether it's in football or basketball. It's always that extra, energy when you know that you're playing the greatest at the game. Mm-hmm. So beating him, it's like a badge of honor for us, because it's like, oh, well, the Eagles beat them, so Philadelphia beat something great. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's why, especially when it comes to Tom, because very few have done so. So the fact that we never really got a chance to with anybody, we never won a Super Bowl. And then not only do we win a Super Bowl, we beat the greatest of all time. And then here we are still in it with them later. It's like, it's still always going to have that meaning, even though we beat them in 2018.
Mm-hmm. No, I know Jonathan Gannon hasn't been aggressive, and I know we love an aggressive defense, but really it comes down to, I think, the interior line play. Do you see Fletcher Cox having himself a good game?
He has to at this point. He's been he's been solid, but he hasn't been consistent as he has in the past. He's faced a lot of scrutiny, I think, more than he has in previous seasons, and he's definitely aging, and which is why the defense makes me nervous. You're looking at a veteran squad, whereas he's not the Fletcher Cox that we saw against Tom Brady in 2018, right? He's 3.5 years older now. We were watching him, not be as sharp and, kind of missing a step on the interior. And that's what does concern me. And because Tom is so laser focused, is the defense going to be quick enough to, to get to him, or even attempt to get to him before he even gets the ball out?
Mm-hmm. I want to move it over to the offensive side of the football, talk a little bit about Jalen Hurts. I asked you about overall what's impressed you the most. You told me about accountability and Nick Sirianni. When you look at Jalen Hurts as a quarterback, what's impressed you about his year?
I love how his work ethic, his kind of his mentality, again, how he handled the year, I think, with grace. Really, I'm impressed with it seems as though he has decided or figured out, I think towards the latter of the season, really how to make those quick decisions, where I feel like earlier in the season, he also was a step and a half behind, where I felt like he was kind of sacrificing the ball or not quite making the plays that he needed to, not quite finding the receivers and the routes, because it looked like he was overthinking it at sometimes. And I think that because he's such a versatile quarterback, right? Because he can run the ball and he can pass the ball. I think that there was some hesitation earlier in the season. And I think that what we've seen as the season goes on is, I think he's reading the field better. So he's able to execute and make better decisions, when it comes time for him to make them on the field.
Mm-hmm. I got to talk about the guy he took over for really at the end of last year in his 4 starts, Carson Wentz. It appears the Indianapolis Colts are already sick of Carson Wentz. Their GM came out yesterday and had a little talk saying that he couldn't confirm or deny whether or not any player was going to come back when he was asked about Carson Wentz. Why do you think it didn't work out here in Philly, and why do you think it's not working out again in Indianapolis?
Because he's cursed, maybe. I mean, no. I seriously, when I watched,
at this point, he's just cursed. He's cursed.
When all that stuff went down over the weekend, I'm like, this guy's just cursed. Like, it's I don't know what happened to him, or if the reports are true that he is kind of just like this guy that everybody can't vibe with. Mm-hmm. That has to be it, because I mean, you'd at least think that they would try and keep him on in some capacity, right? But the Colts are like, it's indicating, no, we don't want anything to do with him.
Whew.
Maybe he is the diva that they always said that he was. I mean, I don't know. It's just because I thought, look, the relationship in Philadelphia got so toxic, he had to go somewhere else. Indianapolis seemed like the right fit for him, but he just can't handle. I mean, he's overthinking it, he chokes. That's it. He overthinks and he chokes, and it's sad. And I think it's like, again, it's kind of like one of those like Ben Simmons situations. That's what it seems like to me. Mm-hmm. And, like, he suffers from it, like Ben suffers from it. It seems to be this like mental block that there's no, like, they can't like execute. It just like he just like forgets how to play.
entitlement beyond the point of reeling back in.
Especially when you're so good your entire life.
That
right?
just came to me.
But I mean, I think and we've talked about this with, Carson Wentz and Ben Simmons forever. It's when you're so good at something your entire life and you're told that you're the greatest your entire life and you win championships and, you kind of have an easy go of it. When you face adversity, there's people who can bounce back from it and there's people who can't. For whatever reason, it gives them this mental block. And then it's a shame because I still always felt that Carson had that potential, even after he left the Eagles. I was like, you know what? He just needs a clean break, a fresh start, the Nick Foles thing. And there was a lot of noise here. But it's a shame. I mean, you don't want to see that. I know he did a lot of good for Philadelphia. And I was actually stunned. But again, nothing surprises me in the NFL anymore. Like the fact that Tom Brady is still just as good. It's nothing. It's, 2022, but still 2002.
No, I get you. Do the Eagles win on Sunday? They're going to beat the Bucs?
Yes.
You liar.
Go Eagles.
Do you think they'll cover? What do we got? 8.5? You think they'll cover?
No.
Oh man, look at you. When did you become a pessimist?
When, Mark?
It's an event.
I was born in Northeast Philadelphia.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, Miss Guzzi.
No. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good experience, for the Eagles, for Jalen Hurts. I mean, I like to daydream and go in my mind to a place where they win, but realistically, I don't know if they're quite there yet.
40 to 14. What are we thinking?
No, I was thinking 21, 32.
You're trying to skew it to sound more optimistic. No, I think anyone who's crossed Roosevelt Boulevard more than 1,000 times in their life is just, it has to be a pessimistic outlook. Not even pessimistic, just trying to be real, right? Just trying to be real. That's all it is. All right.
Yeah,
now,
no, I mean, I can. I mean, I can at this point.